Hello everyone and welcome. Sorry for my absence for the past few days. I'm having some hardware issues, just waiting for a new motherboard and processor and RAM to turn up, so if this video doesn't seem complete then I do apologise, my computer's playing up. But as you can see, I'm sitting in the cockpit of IndiaFoxtEcho's latest creation, the T-45C. Well, and not to forget, Liveries have also worked alongside IndiaFoxtEcho to create this. So you know, they don't get a mention most of the time, but they did work in collaboration with them. As you can see, it's absolutely fantastic on the inside. Glass cockpit, everything you wouldn't expect from a T-Mark 1 for the Royal Air Force. We'll go for a walk around, and you can see the rather lovely paint scheme there, the tigers. I don't know my naval stuff too well, so if you know your stuff then you'll know what this all means. But the level of detail on this model is absolutely astounding. Down to the rivets, the weathering, everything. It's just fabulous. Done a really good job of this. Obviously, those of you who are British or any of the other nations that have bought the Mark 1 version in other guises across the world, the main differences for the T-45 is the obviously the tail hook and the strengthened undercarriage with the bar at the front for the catapults, and the light is missing from the front, but other than that it's pretty much as is. And not to forget the speed brakes, which we have a single one underneath. The T-45 has one either side, but yeah, other than that, pretty much the same as the Mark 1. And due to staying service into the 30s, I believe, just such a reliable aircraft and one of the best trainers ever produced. I mean, it speaks volumes that the Americans have bought a British product and not really tinkered with it too much. So yeah, fantastic. As I say, all the liveries that come with it are top notch. There are some Royal Air Force ones that are out there. I was going to use one in this video, but then I thought, well, it's a Hawk. Well, it's not a Goshawk, but it's a Hawk. But it wouldn't be right to dress it up in a Royal Air Force livery. So, but there are ones out there. There's a 4 Squadron Valley Hawk, red arrows, obviously, and there's a camo, I think it's an old RAF Chivener one out there as well. So if you want an RAF livery for your T-45, they're out there now. Other than the outside, which looks phenomenal, we'll jump into the front of the cockpit, sorry. And again, looks fantastic. Obviously the additions being the glass cockpit at the front here, the hook, your cat bar switch down here, and obviously the crew access ladder, which you can flip up and down, which will make the ladder up and down on the outside. I believe we can jump into the back seat. Let's have a look. Oh, not radios. I apologise. Pilot. Co-pilot. So there we go. You don't have the big perspex piece that separates in between by the looks of things, and again it's almost carbon copy of the front, other than obviously not having the HUD, but you can have on either of the MFDs. So when this becomes multi-crew, this is going to be an absolute delight to fly, even more so than it is now. So I thought I'd do a quick start up for the review, just to show you how simple it is. So obviously you remove the 4 flight tags from the canopy and from the ejector seat. Batteries on, which is down here to the right. Generator on. Turn the caution off. Go to the turbine starter or APU on the throttle. Make sure that your throttle mixture is all the way up, otherwise it will not start. And put in your fuel cutoff and your master ignition, and let the RPMs build. While that's doing, we'll switch on our external lights, and flick on the master switch. There we go. Now we go for the radios. You want to be sticking them in T, R and G, which stands for transmit, receive and guard. So click, click, and same for this one, click, click. Switch your IFF to standby, which is this one here. Switch your TACAN on. Over to this side, we're going to want to, as you can see, we've got a Sea Org light just there. You flick the control augmentation switch there to all. That light goes out, and you will get a hydraulic light that sometimes comes on. When that does, you want to do a hydraulic 2 reset, and that will take the light out. Flick on the MFDs, and then we'll go on to our OBOG, so oxygen on, get the flow going, and there we go. Oh no, it's just gone out, parking brake. So yeah, the hydraulic light there, and go to hydraulic 2, do a reset, come back over, and it's now out. Take the master caution off again, switch the HUD on, and then just to set whatever you want, so that you can see what you're doing. You can change your brightness, so it goes from a blue tinge to a green. You can change it to daylight, again to blue to a green, and auto just basically sets it whatever. I believe that is everything that I need. Oh no, seat. Arm the seat obviously, and then all we've got left is the canopy, which we grab the handle there. Okay, now we want to set our MFDs up. I always have an HSI up. Usually when you set the flight plan up, it will set your waypoints, which you can flick through using these 2 buttons here, and it always starts at 320 nautical miles out, so you tend to scale that down, but I'm just going to do a circuit of RF Valley, obviously because it's a Hawk. And on this side you've got stores, which obviously there aren't going to be any real stores for it. You can set them in the payload sections. That's inoperable. You've got your HUD, which you can have down here, HSI and ADI, your engines, what they're doing, and then this one for your TACANs, VS. I don't know, I'm not quite sure what this one does. It just changes all of that on the right hand side. Okay, I'll admit I've not come across that page before. So you can go to data, and whichever waypoint you select, it will tell you everything about that waypoint that you selected, whether it be a custom one, a VOR, ILS, anything like that, tell you the latitude, longitude, elevation, magnetic variation, how far you are away from it, your bearing, the elevation, everything like that. It's really, really good. It's really well done. But as I don't have a flight plan, none of that's going to be relevant in this. But I am planning on doing a separate one for navigation. Again, on here, if you go to law, which stands for low altitude warning, you can set when you want that to go off. So that's set at 400 feet, so we can change that to 500, select enter, and it will go out. Same goes for bingo fuel. For 900 pounds of fuel, set that to 1,000 pounds, enter, there you go. So when we get down to 1,000 pounds of fuel, bingo warning will go off. As soon as we get under 500 feet, the low altitude warning will go off. So yeah, and this mode switch you can flick through. If you've got a flight plan, it will bring up the information down there in the right hand corner, well, I believe it's there, telling you how far you are from it. It'll bring your DME up, distance measuring equipment, so how far you are from that waypoint and what waypoint you're going to, so it'll give you the VOR readout. Obviously there's your angle of attack. Apparently we're at 30 degrees angle of attack. Not sure what that is. There we go, down to 0. There's your heading tape. Your waypoints will flick up on here. If you can actually see it, I'm usually sat down here, I can barely see it like that. That's your altitude, barometric, which you can zero out here to 89. We're now at 0 barometric. Your rad alt, apparently we're at 10 feet. Obviously you've got to take the height of the aircraft into consideration. There's your backup horizontal, well, brain fart moment, artificial horizon. There's your speed in knots. That's your vertical velocity indicator, barometric altitude, your slip indicator. Over here we've got the fuel flow, how much fuel we have in pounds. That's your RPM gauge and your turbine temperature gauge there. And down here you've got cabin pressure. All this weird and wonderful stuff. It's really good. I mean, we don't really have TACANs on Flight Sim at the moment. I'm sure that will be added at some point. So this will be your go-to for VORs, your navs and everything. So you just basically flick it up and down using these different ones. Yeah, that's inside the cockpit. You can obviously lower your hook and your cat bar like this, as so. So you've got it at the front and the back. Let's get the speed brakes out. There we go, flaps up. Let's get this clean so we can taxi. So we get the hook back up and the bar back up. Obviously if you have the aircraft carrier, then that will probably be good for you. You can change your hook bypass from aircraft carrier to field there. There's your pitot heat switch there. I think I've pretty much covered everything. There's your cockpit lighting all in there for instruments and floodlights. Yeah, that's everything covered on the inside. Your jettison jettison your stores, master arm, and that's it. So as you can see, as I say, we're at RF Valley, very apt as we're in a Hawk. Gonna taxi them straight down, take off, do a circuit, come back in and land, and then I'll call it end for the video as a review. You probably, if you've subscribed to me, you probably know that I've already done a couple of videos in the Hawk, the Goshawk, sorry. So you'll know that I do know how it is and everything. I just been a bit late in getting a review done, but I can't recommend it enough. Absolutely fantastic. Along with their MB339, which by the way has just had an upgrade and is absolutely brilliant to fly, even more so now. I mean, I can't see them making a bad product at all, and I just can't wait for them to release anything in DCS, because they're this good in flight sim. I can only imagine what it's going to be like in DCS, so I'll be doing a review of it on that as well once it makes its appearance. I have to apologise for the level of detail and stuff on my machine. I don't have the most powerful machine in the world, so don't expect fantastic videos. I'm just sort of meat and gravy of the modules and things like that. As much as I wish I did have a powerful enough PC to bring you something visually stunning, as a disabled person I just don't have the funds. I can't work, so I have to make do with what I've got. So I hope you appreciate that, and I appreciate anybody who watches my videos, so thank you if you've got this far, and thank you for those who have subscribed as well. So to get the aircraft moving, you're going to want to get to around about 70% RPM. It will gradually get going. Don't want to keep the RPMs high for too long, otherwise it'll end up running away with you. So just get up to the end of this taxiway here. There's your flap indicator there, half flaps or takeoff flaps and landing flaps. So I'll set the flaps down now. There we go. So we've got half flap. Sort of down slightly so we don't fly off this corner here. Unlike Just Flight's release of the Hawk T Mark 1 in the in FSX, which had caster nose wheel and was controlled by differential braking, although you could change it to nose wheel steering. This one, obviously being based on an aircraft carrier, had nose wheel steering to start with. It just had two different variations. We're in high grade at the moment, which means we can maneuver in tight spaces, but once we get rolling, get over a certain speed, that green light will go out, and the NWS will be non-high. So here we are, all good. Half flap, not trimmed out at the moment, all good to go. So we'll throttle up. And these are, by the way, these are your trim windows. Just trimming the nose, the elevators there. Right, so we are at full pelt. Get the ball rolling. As you can see, we've got over a certain speed now, so the nose wheel has gone out of the high gain and is not so aggressive. I'm doing 130 knots now, so pull back on the stick and we are up. Gear up. Flaps up. Beautiful Snowdonian mountains in the background there. Hit the marker there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get parallel with the runway, come in, do a run and brake, I'll bring it into land, and then that'll be it for the video. But as I say, I can't recommend this aircraft enough. If you haven't got it already, if you've got 25 quid, it's absolutely worth every penny. Yeah, it's just amazing. I mean, it was great in FSX as a freebie, but even better in this as a payware. They really have done all their work. And also, if you're looking for manuals, there is a manual that comes with it, but it's not what you think it is. I've tried looking over it a couple of times and looking for set procedures and what to press and things like that, but it's not like that. It's like an actual manual for the Goshawk. So it was a bit confusing to start with, but after playing around a little bit, you get a feel for it. So here we come. The engine spooled down a bit too much. Didn't like that. Okay, so we'll come in for a run and brake, and then it'll be time to land. I believe there is somebody on the runway. Very popular bit of scenery, this. And if you were a follower of MAIW in FSX, you'll be pleased to know that they've got a version of RAF Coningsby out for this, and it's spot on. Hardened aircraft shelters, everything. None of this garden shed looking scenery like there is for the RF Lakenheath and things like that. Okay, for this one there are some static aircraft like an A400, some Hawks, there's the A400 down there, some Hawks, as well as some GA aircraft, which is a bit odd, and there's also a Merlin helicopter parked on the ramp over that side, somewhere there it is, but worth getting as well, better than the stock one that came with it. So yeah, there we have it. I mean, I'm sure there are videos out there more in depth with their review and things like that, but to be honest, not much to say about it, and it's absolutely brilliant. So I mean, the ride is great, the controls are great, picking up bumps in air pockets, turbulence, wind shear, things like that. It is brilliant. It's a solid little performer, and like I say, it's worth every single penny. Geared down, half flap. Get on finals, and then we'll switch it down to full flap. There we go, full flap. Bring it down at around about 130 knots. There we go, below 500 feet now. My low altitude warning has gone off, although there was no actual audible sound. It's just a big W across the HUD there. Make sure my parking brake isn't on. There, brilliant, lovely. Right, so that is the IndiaFoxtEcho T-45C. Again, if you've come this far and you've watched the video, thank you very much, I appreciate it. And if you have the money, go and get it, it's a must buy. Again, thank you for watching, and as always, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.